Welcome to the Punters Preamble.
There we go.
Welcome to the Canberra Conversation. I'm Simon Dinopoulos. I'll be joined in the studio by Ethan, Perry and Jaike Altieri. Ethan sporting the club's colours. Good to see. Luckily, we're shooting this from the waist up because you've only managed to get 2 buttons done, so you won't be riding on Sunday, but you are certainly looking forward to getting out there at the Thoroughbred Park.
Yeah, so it's going to be a hard last 2 kilos in the sauna, mate, to get that Canberra Cup ride. But, mate, what a great weekend it is. Arguably my favourite weekend on the Canberra calendar, on all my calendars, to be fair to you, Jakey. And, yeah, we'll be out there on Sunday, just trackside, enjoying all the spoils. And you looking forward to it, Jakey boy?
Of course. What a weekend ahead in Canberra, particularly. Good racing around the country on Saturday. Again, on Sunday with one of the country championships qualifiers serving as an entree to what's happening in the nation's capital. You might not be riding on Sunday, but I tell you what, Bull Carnival's just around the corner, mate. If you keep up your sauna work, you might be a chance there.
Because you are looking well. You're just not jockey thin.
Yeah, it took me a little bit. It took me a little bit coming back from Europe.
It's hard.
Hayden drank well, but getting back to new top Nick and the ride's just around the corner.
Yeah, we're expecting a peak performance from you on Sunday, as many horses are expecting a peak performance. Grand final day in the nation's capital. I think most of the features have held up. We have this chat every year. The Canberra Cup, unfortunately, 9 dual acceptors. We'll only know how good the Cup's going to be 7:30 tomorrow morning, which is a shame. But I think the Opal has held up well. The favourite is going to run. Eviction Notice. Gay Waterhouse was at the lunch yesterday. Fantastic. Gave us the lead there. Miss Chanel will not run in Sydney or Canberra. It'll be saved for Caulfield in a week's time for the Vobis Gold. She said, how can you not run there? Such a narrow race for $1 million. Mad not to run. So Eviction Notice will be coming to the Black Opal, which is a big win. But the first race of the features, race 5, the Canberra Guineas. What a Guineas. It is one of the best Guineas I've seen in some time. And even Blanco agreed, which is saying much. He went back to McNuckle days. So that's a long time ago. You boys weren't even probably born when McNuckle was going around. But it looks a good Guineas. And to consider that the favourite has tempted form and is 2-1, Jake.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I've marked him about 250, 260. There are some really good horses behind him in the market that you want to keep safe as well. The likes of Azarax at Rivendell, and of course the preview winner as well in Zoo Field, who would have thought that he'd just come here and win off that performance a couple of weeks ago. But Gay seems to hold the cards close to her chest, EP.
Yeah, Jake, you're just looking at through a map perspective. So as we mentioned, the Waterhouse and Bot runners there, they'll inject plenty of speed into the race in Zoo Field and Watson. It'd be an interesting little battle there to see actually what they do. I've got a feeling Watson will take the lead and Zoo Field will get a little shotgun ride there.
Well, Zoo Field missed the start. As we're talking about, Jake mentioned the preview win. Some win. Missed the start, hunted through, led all the way. So if it's a slow away again, blinkers on first time, that can happen. Drawn 1 for Rachel King. I think it will be shotgun roll for Zoo Field. Watson getting the gun run there.
Yeah, and just looking at the rest of the map, you've got Azarax. I think Azarax can roll across from out at Barrier 9. In behind then, you've got Rivendell, Agent Zero, Transcendent, interesting runner. Silverloa, drawn low, should be able to hold a spot midfield. And then you've got Aerodrome and Is It Spectacular off midfield. And then last but not least, Silver Touch, who looks to possibly get an STI there.
Yeah, it's an interesting map because Aerodrome could also, we've seen it race forward as well. So who jostles for position from those wider draws will be very interesting early. It's basically, we know what's going to lead and sit second. Who's going to be leaders back? Who's going to sit outside from there? Who's getting the 1-1? Yeah. It's probably the most interest. But no, good race, good map, hopefully. Well, we both like Watson. We know you swing away from Watson with Transcend. Talk us through your selection.
Yeah, the Kiwi filly there, Michael Freeman's filly. Tommy Berry booked at 54 kilos there. She comes through the first up run in the benchmark 78 in town. Sat wide throughout there. Didn't quite finish off. I'm willing to forgive. The 2 trials in prior to that first up run was super. There's form around Beedman there, who goes around quite short in Sydney on the weekend. 1,400 metres looks ideal for her. She's a big filly. I think she'll get through the ground well. And Tommy Berry, I mean, he's been one of the form jockeys in Sydney for the last 12 months or so, striking at 22%. Important carnival for him too.
It is. Yeah, obviously his wife Shani, Canberra local, and Tommy's here every year. Now that we got a good rumour yesterday, he's been ringing for months to try and get the music time right, and Gratzy's now just denying his calls.
Gratsy, Mr. Trifecta himself, he's got a good chance.
He's got a good chance. He's very excited. It was, everyone was fired up yesterday at the Carbon Club lunch, and the locals have really good chances in the Opal. We'll get to that a little later. But Jake, you are keen on Watson here.
Keen on Watson. Just want to touch on Azarax first before we get there. On debut, beat Panova, who we know went and won the Carbine Club during Melbourne Cup week. And then he also beat Watson, who was in that race, led them up there. But felt the pinch late. I think it was just a end of his tether sort of run, end of the campaign sort of effort. He's obviously gone to another level this time in work as well, which is pretty exciting for Watson supporters. But something worth noting there with Azarax and Rivendell, 2 for 2 for
Unbeaten.
Snowden. His win at Kembla was awesome. The last 100, 150 metres there were very impressive. He would have been right in at the top of betting. In any other guineas, it's just a shame that for those connections anyway, that Watson rocks up here. But as I said off the top, I probably couldn't get him much shorter than 250 or 260 considering the strength of those horses around him. But with that, we've touched on that he's better than 2 to 1. He's about $3.10 at the time of recording. So that's a good bet for me. Watson.
Yeah, I have to agree, Gun. There's only 2 races left for Gay to conquer. The Cox Plate, and then obviously the Guineas. This is the big one.
The Pinnacles.
This is the big one. She mentioned it obviously yesterday at the lunch that she really wants to win a Cox Plate. I think she also meant the Guineas, but
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand. But yeah, not often you would see a horse with legitimate form. Tempted's in there. Gone to the line with Wotan. And
what brought him here?
Maybe he should have come here. He might have actually been able to win another race. He obviously
the trial since is great.
Yeah, goes around in the Newmarket on Saturday. So we'll wait and see how Wotan goes. But yeah, I think that form obviously stands above here. And, he's going to take plenty of catching if Rachel does land outside the lead and they can control the race.
So if Wotan wins the Newmarket, what price is Watson here?
Oh, exactly. Well, as I said, a horse who, 4 lengths off Tempted, I'd say Tempted to win by 5 here would be, deep odds on?
Yeah, there'd be a chance, I'd reckon.
Yeah. So, no, it's a really good Canberra Guineas. And as we mentioned off the top, I think a lot of the features have held up really well. I'd say the Guineas is the strongest.
Yeah.
The Black Opal we'll get to. But, really looking forward to the Guineas. And hopefully Jake and I come out on top. The National Sprint, race 6, the biggest plus here. We had 6 dual acceptors with the Newcastle Stakes. And 5 have scratched out of Newcastle today to come to the nation's capital. So it looked a really strong race on paper, the National Sprint. As we mentioned about the Guineas, this is one of the best national sprints we've seen as well.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well,
Ease up.
We didn't say winners. We said races.
Yeah, you're lucky.
This is a deep race. And it's always funny when we do a podcast or a preview show with 3 people from racing and sports because we get the same numbers.
What?
So very good to see you swing away from us with a send. But I think Helsing, if you guys don't tip this, I don't know. We need to have a talk.
No, I think it's 3 from 3 here across the board. Like you said, it was a very pleasant surprise coming into the office this morning and seeing that in Newcastle race, they got demolished from there and they're all coming to the capital.
As you should. As you bloody well should.
As you should. But like you've said, Helsing looks a pretty good bet here, I'd say. It's the map horse. It's drawn barrier 1 there. I see it taking a perfect little sit under Dylan Gibbons, who I must note.
He loves the nation's capital.
He's in for a big day, the champ.
He is in for a big day. Do you know his strike rate at Canberra?
Oh, jeez. He'd have to be at least 20%.
Oh, mate, he's 40. 40.
Double.
And I think his most impressive strike rate of all, 39% with favourites.
Oh, okay.
So airborne, last 50, 350, riding really well. And he looks to give this horse every chance from the inside draw.
Yeah, from the inside draw, just getting straight in behind the pace there. And there's plenty of it, so I think it'll be a good contest. You got Zuatica, the champ, coming across from barrier 17.
For Barb and the boys.
From Barb and the boys. Magna Ted, closer towards the inside in the middle there. We're powering forward as well. Cool Jakey and Glyn of Silver.
Only know one way.
Only know one way, so plenty of pace. Then there's a couple of the local chances there. Another one, Wagga. He's a Wagga boy, obviously. He's burst up off a good spell at Wagga. Good trial at Wagga. And then Love Shuck Associate, War Eternal, who we'll get to later. They all should get a lovely little run behind the pace. And there's plenty of it, like I said. But getting back to Helsing, our selection, all 3 of us, there's a Group 3 winner in Ireland over this trip early in career. And then 2-time listed winner over a similar trip over the 1500. The draw's perfect, 1600 metres high pressure. Yeah. He'll absolutely froth it there. And he's run to 3 career new peaks in his last 3 starts, I should say.
So without winning, he's flying.
He's absolutely flying. 114 last start, obviously flooded by the big weight that he had to carry in town. But yeah, Dylan Gibbons, like I mentioned, is in great touch, striking at 22%. Last 50 rides, 17% last 350. So he's come back. He's only just started come back onto the scene, hasn't he? Gun in most 6 months or so.
Yeah, he had a bit of a shoulder injury there that he was nursing for a little while. Pretty sure he might have had to have a full Rico on that shoulder.
Amazing how quick they come back.
Yeah.
It is amazing how quick they come back. Very fit athletes, those jockeys, and we've seen him ride a 5-timer, the nation's capital already.
I think he'll come back hitting the ground running in the capital.
Away from the winner Helsing Gun, what else can you, if you're looking for your exotics?
Exotics, we all love making a little bit of extra cash, and I think War Eternal is one that we can throw into the mix. Definitely one for the quaddie, as this is the first leg of the quadrella, race 6. Ran behind Magneteer last start, but was finishing very strongly, and the splits would suggest that Magneteer was able to get his own way up front on that occasion in Sydney, as Pez, you alluded to. Probably won't get the same conditions to suit on Sunday afternoon, and I found him pretty easy to push when assessing this race, so I was pretty happy to push Magneteer and mark War Eternal actually probably inside him. I think the strong race will suit him much better. I think Bjorn might be chasing the wet tracks with him as well. Haven't touched on it yet, but possible storm coming on a Saturday evening. Might throw a bit of a spanner in the works, but that'll just see horses get towards the middle of the track and beyond the crown towards the grandstand rail. So we'll get some good views.
We will.
Trackside at Canberra on Sunday. But yeah, I was pretty keen to throw War Eternal into the mix at double figures. So must for the quaddie for me.
And we should get the good oil. Bjorn Baker, special guest tonight at the cocktail party. Obviously at the Carbine Club lunch yesterday. He both performed very well, backing up tonight, and then hopefully into another peak performance on Sunday. So it's a true staying event. The week, the Black Opal week.
A
And,
bit like Helsing, just a career peak the last 3.
it's going to be impressive because there was a few peak performances at the Carbine Club lunch.
Gay Waterhouse, number 1.
Oh, she is the best. If a luncheon comes up and Gay is speaking and you haven't seen her speak before, you have to get to it. Everyone calls her the queen of racing. She's number 1 of Australian racing. She's sells the sport so well, and she gave us a few little tips that we can sort of get to later in the program. But yeah, Bjorn got a bit to live up to tonight. I'm sure he will though.
In spades.
Yeah. Now on to the feature, or the main feature, the Black Opal Stakes. Obviously the Canberra Cup. We're just a bit upset with the amount of dual acceptors. But the Black Opal looks to have held up well, and Gay did let us know yesterday at the lunch that eviction notice will come, which is massive for the race. He is favourite, and I think helpful for one of the local chances, Music Time, who's drawn out. Obviously, Grazie was very pumped yesterday, but not so pumped about the draw. But talk to us about the map.
Yeah, just through that map perspective, like you said, eviction notice is going to come across from 14.
Only knows one way.
Going to inject plenty of pace into it. Music Time will be able to get on the back there, follow across. Bar Jester, the other local, Nico, what a shirt it is, should be able to get the suck run just in behind that early pace. I don't think they won't want to lead.
No, I think just landed there, obviously in the lead up, but I think they'll be looking to take a trail from that inside draw.
And then obviously the 2-year-olds, they're always tricky to map. You know, they mightn't have had the most amount of chances. Might have only had 1 or 2 starts drawn out, gone back, and now they're drawing inside.
That's why I call you the map king, though, mate. No excuses.
No, there's a couple off the trials there that I'm interested in. We'll get to in a little bit, but the pace looks genuine, as you're always going to expect with the Waterhouse and Bot, favourite as well. Yeah. They're going to give themselves every chance up on speed. The pace looks genuine, and I think everyone will get their chance if they're good enough.
Sounds good. And hopefully Music Time is the best of those. Fingers crossed.
Oi.
Hey? Ease up.
Calm down.
Music Time. Dead heat.
We want a dead heat for the locals. Gap back to third.
Yeah. Gap to third, and a massive line at the bar after, of course, 49%
How
off.
good's that? Yeah, they're doing the 49% off. If a Canberra trained horse, I mean, we'll stretch it to Joey Cleary as well if he lands the Black
Well, you
Opal.
can pull a few strings, can't
I
you?
can pull a few strings, mate. I'll make that happen. 49% off at the bar. How good's that?
Yep, and Gracie will be the first one there, no doubt.
And
If
the last.
and the last. If
He'll
Music
stay
Time,
till closing time. Don't worry about
Good
that.
song.
they don't close.
No.
They won't close if Gratz is
Well, that
there.
is the big question. If Music Time wins the Black Opal, is there enough VB in Canberra?
Not enough VB, I'm afraid.
There's not enough.
But
He'll be at the factory.
if Music Time was to win, when he wins, the rumor going around is that Rocket Man will be getting played from the speakers, and you possibly could be getting up on stage with Robbie Darwin to sing it.
I'm glad this is all eventuated after I left last night.
Yeah.
It was good to see you boys in run too.
I'll sign you.
Yeah. But the two locals, obviously it looked fast, Jake. How did it rate?
Well, I guess that's the tricky thing with assessing all of the races there on preview day. The track was very fast across the board. We probably didn't touch on it with the Guineas, but Zoofield there was the fastest by far. And this race was as well pretty quick for the Black Opal preview. The sectionals that Music Time ran to mow down Bar Jester, they're clearly the two out of that with that big gap back. to the rest of the field there. But Music Time splits suggest that getting to 1,200 metres for the first time, which maybe you can touch on, Simon, may not be what's going on in the future. Hopefully we can have a 1,200 metre race prior to the Black Opal in years to come. Yeah. But the sectionals that Music Time had to run to get to Barjester suggests that, as I said, 1,200 is no issue. Just where Pierre gets to from the draw, I think. But I reckon there'll be a 3-wide trail. If they're going too fast, Pierre's a good enough jockey. Obviously, the best in the region
flying
at the moment. The Snot Stealer,
the Booger Villain.
He'll be able to slot him into a midfield position 3-wide if they're going along that quick. And I think we've seen with Music Time already that drawing the inside is a big negative for him. So barrier 18 is probably not the worst case scenario
Much
for
rather
Music
out
Time.
than in. Yeah.
Exactly right, as we've seen his past couple where he's got to the outside and mowed them down. So I think Music Time, if he can run to what the splits suggest, he's a really big chance, and he's very likened to Farsighted, who won the preview last year, comes in with the same rating. So they're both rated at 96 with Racing and Sports. Farsighted jumped a $2.70 favourite in the Black Opal Stakes last year. I'm not sure if we'll see Music Time that short, and that might be where the edge lies, though there are a couple of good ones coming through, but maybe none as good as what King of Pop was 12 months ago. And I think that's the way to assess this race. We've got the established local horse, and we know how good he is with that horses through that line with Farsighted last year. And we've just got to work out if there is a King of Pop here that can knock him off.
Well, Eviction Notice obviously stands out from a form perspective, but he did get gapped in that Silver Slipper. And I think the form figure, obviously, you can't have the Canberra lead up rated as high as the Silver Slipper, obviously, even where Eviction Notice finished in the race. So on form figures, yes, Eviction Notice will rate better, but when you look at the times that they've returned, the Canberra horses aren't that far off. And both stables, as we heard yesterday at the lunch, very bullish that they'll be better at 1,200. And Nico quietly confident that his horse had more improvement. Barjester obviously went into it off that break. And they're also very adamant that he'll be at his best at 1,200. They'll take a sit there, but it is hard watching the lead up, even as a proud Nick Olive supporter, how he's going to turn the tables on Music Time, because that was very impressive.
Well, yeah, I had to have a chat to Gratz. I said, well, mate, Music Time, was your horse laying in late in the race there, or was Pierre taking the mickey? And he was pretty quick to point out that Pierre was taking the mickey, and if he gave him a slap around the rump, he was going to take off like a rocket.
Yeah.
Hence the nickname. So fingers crossed we can see him at his flying best, along with Barjester.
Thank you. Well, the whispers were your Kenny couldn't get near him.
Oh,
couldn't get near him.
The last local horse to win the Black Opal.
Yeah.
Couldn't get near him.
I think the exciting thing, regardless of the result on Sunday, is the locals have two really promising horses, and Music Time country champs next year, Barjester, if they can stretch him. I think Nico's pretty confident to get 14 a mile. So we're looking at two horses that, got bright futures. Obviously, we want to see him dead heat for first on Sunday.
Yeah, and as you've just mentioned, if they do pair off 6 lengths clear and you're looking for that third runner.
Yeah, we want that. Yeah, don't you dare tip something against the locals.
If you're looking for that,
you're wearing the club's colours.
Yeah. If you're looking for a horse to run third, there's two that are coming back from the trials.
You've been perving all week, haven't you?
I have been perving all week.
Yeah. Trial perv for those playing at home.
Mate, it's Artanius and the next episode. They were both luckless on debut. They're very much forgive efforts. Artanius, more so the one I'm quite keen on here. Once again.
Oh, you found your man.
He's back.
Funky.
Funky Dilly Gibbons.
Yeah.
The trial into his debut was really strong. He beat home Incognito under a hold there. Ran into him on debut, but was taken back from the wide draw. Just never really got into the race. Came around the bend. He was green as grass. But got home really nicely. He rattled off some of the quickest splits in that race and on the meeting itself, home in 33.54. He's since gone back to the trials in readiness for this prep. Over the 900 at Rose Hill was really strong, taken forward there, stretched out lovely. And I think the rise to 1,200 metres looks perfect for him as well. And then I just mentioned the next episode, Tommy Berry booked again there. Big day for the boys, I think. He was taken back from the wide gate on debut, started 750 in the Golden Gift and worked home okay. Never really had a fair crack at him in restricted room. Once again, 2 layout trials into this look awesome.
Fifth emergency, does he get in?
Yeah, I think he gets in.
He gets in?
There's a few Julies.
Yeah.
Less so keen on the next episode, more so Artanius to fill that spot for third.
Third. All right.
But
you calm
price.
down.
Yeah, at a price.
Well, are we doing first fours? Did you watch the trial of Threads coming into this?
I did see that.
Nice little trial. I think it just unfolded a little bit quick for him on debut over the shorter distance. He was back to the inside that day in Sydney. It just wasn't the best place to be. It was his English Millennium Day. If everyone remembers or goes back and watches the replays, they were coming away from the fence, heading more towards the middle of the track where Threads had to go back to the inside. I think the trial recently was quite nice. Paradoxium blew him away. Central Europe, who we've seen come out and run really well last week in Sydney, was in that trial as well. They both trialled better than him, but you'd probably expect that with the sort of horse that's coming towards a Black Opal. So, but I thought maybe he's one that can see a little bit of improvement out of that's Threads for Chad Schofield and the Godolphin team.
Beautiful. So we've got a dead eat for first. Bar Jess and Music Time. Huge gap.
Yeah, huge. 6
Massive gap.
Massive gap.
If they pair off,
it could fast.
You won't see it.
I won't see it.
Yeah,
And then you'll catch me at the bar.
yeah.
49%.
49.
How good's Robbie Ringland? He thinks of everything, isn't he? He's very good.
DP.
We're very lucky to have the Black Opal trophy with us today. Robbie offered us the Canberra Cup as well, and Jake, no, absolutely not.
I won't touch it.
Can't touch it. He's a part owner in Touristic. Now, unfortunately, as we go through the Canberra Cup, Travolta, Campbell-Dino, Piggyback, Athabaskan, Star of India, Nelly Laylac, Sam Hawkins, The Tourist, and Unlimited are all dual acceptors. So we've got no idea who's coming until tomorrow morning at 7:30, and you don't even know.
I don't even know, but you've gone past Campbell-Dino very quick there. Plenty of mail getting around at the Carbine Club lunch there on Thursday afternoon that he might just win the Melbourne Cup.
Well, that was the tip from Gay, wasn't it? And won't be coming to Canberra, though. So Campbell-Dino is not coming.
Piggyback's not coming either, correct?
Piggyback's not coming either. Spoke to Adam Watt, who went to uni here in Canberra. Proud Canberran. Would love to take the Cup to Mooseheads, no doubt. But unfortunately, because of the wide draw, they're going to stay and run in Sydney. So Piggyback will be coming out. But Campbell-Dino also. But yeah, maybe if it's going to win the Melbourne Cup, and it's set for the Sydney Cup. I haven't seen what price it is in the Sydney Cup, but that's probably the big push from Gay.
He might run a race in Sydney.
He might run a race. So very interesting. We can't talk too much about the Cup, unfortunately, with the likes of so many dual acceptors. I think if we had the full field, if they were all to run, which I obviously doubt, but the two that interest me the most would be Unlimited.
And the Touristic?
Obviously the Tourist. This is for second and third, Jake.
Oh, going sneaky
Sorry.
too.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And Star of India.
India.
I think Tommy Berry book tells me it's probably coming here.
Yeah, okay. I'll add to that. I'll chuck in Sam Hawkins there.
Yeah.
There's obviously big raps on it when it first came over from overseas. Last campaign in the spring, didn't really fire a shot there. I think folded at the turn, but looks to have come back pretty nice. I'm forgiving off that first up run, 2 from 2, second up. Wherever he goes, whether he comes to Canberra or goes to Sydney, I think he'll run a big race. And you wouldn't happen to be able to guess who rides him in Canberra. You want to guess?
Are you mates with him yet, or what?
Funky. Newcastle boy.
If you didn't have a beer with him on Sunday, it's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. Me, him, Robbie Darlin. That's me trifecta. Oh, and Grazzi.
And Grazzi.
On the
And
stage?
Nico and Ringland and...
There's too many.
Too many beers.
Where's Potsy?
Oh, no.
Potsy's got to be there.
Potsy.
In superb form. Joey Cleary coming off the bench. I mean,
Joey.
It was a hell of a lineup yesterday, and it'll be even better on Sunday. I mean, tonight is going to be... I mean, Bjorn just steaming in from Sydney.
Just throw him into the first 4 and you're laughing.
You're laughing. It is it's survival of the fittest. Best bets time. Jake?
Watson in the Guineas. I think he might just be too good for them. Good Guineas, as we touched on, but he might be a level above.
Apart from the best bet of Gibbons winning the jockey medal.
Shh, I told you.
Yeah, true.
Don't give it away.
Pricey.
Give me one plus.
Mate, it's tricky because we said they're pairing off. They're pairing off in the Opal.
You can't tip in the Opal. You're wearing the club's colours.
Artani's the place.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. I don't mind Artani's the place.
Artanius the place.
Yeah.
Look, mate, I think he actually might be a pretty smart colt, and we've looked at that exposed Sydney form. Nothing to be running scared of.
Yeah.
I really like how he's been jumping out at the trials, and yeah, $10. I think it's worth a bet.
There you go. You're a disgrace.
Yeah.
My best. I agree with Gunn. I think Watson's going to take plenty of beating. In the,
It's going to be hard to beat.
He's going to be very, very hard to beat. Blanco not hold me back anymore. But no, I'll swing away a bit of value for me. Race 3, number 11, Soul Lady for Joey Cleary. 2 good performances last time in and trialled really well behind Vermicella. They went to the line together, who obviously came out and won the qualifier last weekend. I think perfect draw, gets down the weights. Jess Taylor has a good record with the horse, and Joey Cleary, I think, goes sneaky well. And he likes her chances, galloped really well. Going against Grazzi's best, Vella's best, which is scary. He's been set for one race, so I'll be having a saver on Grazie. But I think Soul Lady each way, $10. I'll be surprised if she's not on the finish.
Go the tourist.
And what other plans on Sunday, lads? Where are you? Where's Robbie Ringland?
Where's he sorted us out?
Where's the Mayor of Canberra got you?
I think we've snuck into the Silks room.
Oh, it must be nice.
And I think you might be there too, possibly.
I'm in the Chairman's Lounge, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
When you're on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, no, we'll be there. Obviously, trackside. We'll be floating around. It'll be a great day, as it always is. I'm Josh Giddy just thinking about it. But yeah, we'll be sneaking up there for a couple of beverages, I reckon.
Yeah, why not? And the Owners and Trainers Lounge after the last.
Only way to do the Black Opal.
We'll be listening to Robbie, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, what's this?
Ringland or Dolan?
Well, either. There could be either. Then I'm assuming Dinopoulos will be up on stage singing Rocket Man with Gratz and Dolan.
I tell you what, if Music Time wins, I'll get up.
Oh.
I'll get up. But there's no chance Robbie will want me up there.
Ringland or Dolan?
But no, very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a fantastic day into the owners' room after the last, as is tradition, and hopefully meeting winners. Black Opal in the mounting yard. Can't wait.
Great week.
And hopefully we have a cup to drink out of.